With one possible exception, the exception being the word we'll look at now, the Thunderwords in Finnegans Wake all have a kind of comical, or at least partially comical, feel to them. They're either too playful, or too melodramatic, or too ironic, or just plain too goofy to be taken completely seriously. Now, part of the reason for this is, of course, the very nature of long words themselves. They kind of invite you to chuckle at them, don't they? Whether the word be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious from Mary Poppins, or hamaka-schnimaka-schnamaka-schnop from Dr. Seuss, or eki patanga zoom boing meow from the Knights Who No Longer Say Ni. And these words only have somewhere between 10 and 17 syllables apiece in them. Finnegans Wake Thunderwords have between 30 and 35 syllables apiece. How can you not take them seriously? Well, what can I say? Leave it to James Joyce to create an exception even to this rule with Thunderword number 6. This is in some ways Joyce's most impressive feat, and it has mostly to do with the timing. The word, as it occurs on page 257, is perfectly placed in terms of narrative arc and dramatic build. But I'll tell you what, let's learn this word first, and afterwards I can contextualize it for you. So here it is. Lucadoeren donandura scudi luciu fermoi porter turi zui svalna bortan sportau kansak roid verge kapaka puk. And again. Lucadoeren donandura scudi luciu fermoi porter turi zui svalna bortan sportau kansak roid verge kapaka puk. So, when you break the word down, and here we go, you'll see that number 6 is just like Thunderwords numbers 1 through 4 in that it is a multilingual expression of a single concept. It's just in this case, the concept isn't encapsulated by a single word, but rather a phrase, shut the door. So you have in the Danish, luk døren, in the Irish, donandoras, Italian, chiudi l'uscio, French, ferme la porte, in German, ture zu. In modern Greek, you have svalna portan, and then you have it in English there with sport the oak, which apparently is a British colloquial expression. So let's say to use it would be to say, I sported my oak in the face of that vacuum salesman that came knocking on my door the other day. Moving on to the Russian, zakroid ver, and finally the Turkish, kapia kapat. And with those glosses for shut the door in different languages, let's go ahead and start drilling this with some further notes as we move on. Lucadoeren, donandoras, chiudi l'uscio. And by the way, l'uscio could be strung together with the fer in the fermoi porter to create Lucifer. Ooh, ominous. So moving on, then you have Fermoy Porter. And by the way, Fermoy is a town in County Cork. There's no question there's some kind of reference to that in here. And then you also have Turi Tsui, Svalnabortan, Sporthaokan, Sacroid Verge, Kapakapuk. And by the way, kapakapuk isn't just the Turkish for shut the door. There's also the Finnish kapaka tavern and the Hungarian kapuk gates. So you have tavern gates being shut as well. Perhaps it's closing time at the pub. And then potentially also the German kaput for the end, because it is the end of something. Anyway, let's string these together before we do that. Here we go. Lucadoeren donandoras. Chiudi l'uscio fermoi porter. Turi zui svalna bortan sportaokan. Sacroid verge kapakapuk. And then finally we string the whole thing together with Lucadoeren donandoras chiudi l'uscio fermoi porter turi zui svalna bortan sportau kan sacroid verge kapakapuk. And so just a final word here about the context in which this word appears. Thunderword number 6 is near the end of a chapter which takes for its subject the experience of childhood It is rife with children's songs and nursery rhymes and playground games, similar to, say, Red Rover, and Red Duck, Yellow Duck, Black Duck, etc. And when you think about it, the challenge of pronouncing ridiculously long words is itself a kind of children's game. Part of the reason why Dr. Seuss and Lewis Carroll and the Knights Who Say Ni are so popular even to this day. So juxtapose that with the event that Thunderword number 6 describes, i.e., the closing of a door, and you can get an idea as to how this word maintains its gravitas. The chapter ends just as childhood itself is often said to end. Innocence is decimated. There's even a suggestion of child abuse in this passage. Wounds no longer heal without leaving scars. Deep compromises are made. Thresholds are irrevocably crossed. Turning back is no longer an option, or at least it no longer feels like an option. The point is, the door is shut. And the newly initiated adult tends to grieve for his or her lost childhood as a result. But the point is, the playfulness of childhood still remains an impulse, and so we have this big, long Thunderword here. And so again, Joyce's placement of this word at this precise crossroads is what makes it so extraordinarily poignant. Playful, yes, but poignant.